And good morning, wherever you're listening or watching from this morning. Welcome to the 66th Annual National Family Island Regatta from Elizabeth Harbor in downtown Georgetown. I'm Reg Smith. With me is Dwight Hart. Good morning, Dwight.
Morning, Reg.
Welcome to
Final.
day final in this
Seventh.
And we are racing behind us already, so we're going to get right to the racing and say that we've got all 31 C-class sloops went to the line this morning.
Yep.
And they're all off and running. So we're going to start some commentary for you right away, and then we'll come back and fill in the day for you.
All right, Reg, if you want to get your binoculars and take a peek out there,
okay.
I'll see what I can see.
I'll get on it right away.
And camera angles?
They all started on port this morning.
Yeah.
Just a few started to starboard, and that's interesting. So they'll be coming right at us. Dwight is a mark somewhere at Regatta Point, I believe. And there's one just in front of us, right in front of Rough Justice, which is just anchored up here. And so I believe they're coming to that mark, and then they'll go off to Regatta Point, and then a bed back down to Monument. And Dwight, what a beautiful sight. The race starting this morning directly in front of Monument, which is the second highest elevation, I'm told, in the Bahamas at 184 feet. What a beautiful start, an iconic start for us this morning in this, the final C-Class Series race of the 2019 Family Island Regatta.
And let's just talk just a little bit, Reg, about the possibilities. I think unless, I can't even fathom a situation where the lead boat, as it is right now, Widdy K, does not end up winning overall. She's got 2 points, which you're going with the lowest score wins the regatta. And those 2 points are because she came first twice. So she got one from Thursday, one from Friday. The least amount of points she can get today would be 31 if she doesn't finish, or she comes last, and she would have a total of 33. I'm not sure there's any other scenario. There's probably a couple, but it'll be like one of those can you win the lottery type thing for some of the other boats in order to overcome such a big distance and lead. Because
well, if she has a do not finish and somebody there's no one really in gun reach to get it. So.
As long as she's in the race, I doubt anybody's going to catch it, because at this point I think the nearest boat to her points wise is at 9 points.
Yes.
And so you do the math on that, and you see that boat would have to come first, and Widdy K would have to come 10th or 11th in order for them to overcome her. So unless something major happens, the Widdy K comes within the top 10, you can say she's going to win.
She's going to be the champion.
Yes, absolutely.
For Class C.
So
right
let's
now,
just see.
Let's see if we can find her.
Where they are. But at the end of the day, Reg, even though she may win overall, there are some boats that are going to try to beat her today, just to have bragging rights at the end of the day, saying that they beat the Widdy K. And so kind of difficult right now to see who's leading, because the boats are still all kind of jumbled up together. They're going to start to create some space between each other.
Well, I can tell you, Dwight, Widdy K is right in the middle of the pack. She's coming across the screens right now, directly in front of us. She is working the middle of the course. It Ain't Right has gone all the way out to the port side of the course, just tacking over now, coming to the mark. And so we are going to watch to see whether Widdy K comes across her. But it seems to me that she is on the mark. So is Slaughter, coming directly to us here. So those two boats seem to be the lead boats right now. And Widdy K on starboard tack, on port tack actually, with the other two boats on starboard. So we're going to see, because they're going to come right into our living rooms, and you'll be able to see who's up front. Widdy K seems to have the upper hand.
And it looks like she's right now sailing next to H2O. Just if you can see those two masts together, the boat just to the right of Widdy K on your television screens would be to your left is H2O, and you can see Widdy K just basically just walking straight by her.
And Widdy K is the green hull.
Yes.
Number 44.
Number 44.
H2O would be the white hull in front of, with the fellow on the fry with a red shirt.
Yeah.
They're right in the middle of your screen.
Yeah. Well, from our particular camera angle, Reg, we're seeing it just a little bit different from what you're seeing on your binoculars because of the position of the camera.
Okay.
So we're not seeing exactly in that order.
Exactly that.
Now, on camera right now, you can see the red shirt guy that you were talking about, but he's now to the right of Widdy K.
He's about to get covered up.
And again, just taking your commentary into consideration, Reg, you can tell that Widdy K is at the lower end of the course, and so at this point she is, in my opinion, the nearest to the mark. and you can see her now coming back.
Well, she had a problem
on
there,
it.
Dwight. She was being fouled by H2O,
Yeah.
and so Stefan couldn't get by.
Well, H2O
He
was
tacked
actually
away.
tacked right behind her, so, or is that somebody else coming behind Woody K right now? But she's definitely got
No,
somebody.
H2O kept going. There's somebody else is way behind. I'm looking for Slaughter because she was on number 8 was on a good line to the mark, and I don't see her anymore. And it looks like she just tacked again on top of Woody K. Just confirming that. No, that was H2O tacking Dwight and coming to us on top of Woody K. But again, looking for It Ain't Right.
And Reg, if you just look just a little bit to your right, you can see that there are a couple other boats that a little below. I can tell that we've got Bull Reg, number 7.
17?
17. And based on this perspective, I think she's actually ahead of Woody K at this point. And also, you may have Sacrifice down there somewhere, it looks like. You can just pick up some of the
I'm
sail
looking
numbers.
at 17 and on 44 coming together.
They're going to be crossing
It's
each
gonna
other
be
right now,
crossing is,
and
just about.
I think Bull Reg has got the upper edge right now.
I think Bull Reg is going to cross Woody K.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the 2 yellow boats crossed to the pull.
One of and one of them actually crossed. I'm not sure, Reg, you can pick up the name
And
of that.
so Bull Reg just crossed Woody K. That's a Golden Girl and Hog Tusk together, the 2 yellow boats there.
All right, so let's get a little prediction going on right now. Bull Reg in the lead.
Yes, I would say that Bull Reg is leading.
And who is the boat Reg following just behind to the stern of Bull Reg, the white boat with...
Okay, let me go back and get that. That looks like 55, Bailey Legal. I think there's Bailey Legal there. And right behind her is Termite, the green hull. Right, if you go all the way over to the other side of the course, one of the green boats, the mainland boats, it might be Keo, is coming across pretty well on starboard tack. And I'm looking for 17, looking for that crossing to see whether or not
I think Buzzy's got them all.
both of them.
Yeah, on a cut.
Okay, let's look for that, folks.
You can expect that Bull Reg is going to lean back in about 20 seconds, and she's going to be making her way to the mark when she leans back, and she will have the lead, followed by number 55, who you just said was Bailey Legal.
Well, he's on port. They're on starboard, but he's across.
He's across.
And guess who's out there too? Slaughter is the boat just in front and to lee of Bull Reg. It Ain't Right. Bull Reg is across It Ain't Right. So right now, if we go all the way back to the other side of the course, there's nobody in contention. Woody K certainly isn't. So Bull Reg should tack and come to the mark. And it looks like it's going to be a port rounding, Dwight.
All right, and there's a drone view, aerial view of the course spread out in front of you, and you're going to see the boats now make their way, and Bull Reg is going to start to pull around as soon as he clears, I think, all of the boats in the fleet right now, and there she comes.
He's definitely tacked to the mark.
And there's Bull Reg on your screen from your aerial view, making an attack, and as you can see, Bailey Legal coming around right behind him. And so Reg, it starts to get interesting right now, because from your points perspective, Bull Reg right now, and we were talking about scenarios where Woody K could get beat, Bull Reg right now with 13 points. If she wins this race without any penalties, she will have 14 points. Woody K obviously has 2 points, and so anything lower than 12 would then allow Bull Reg with a victory to win the overall regatta. But we're not trying to get ahead of ourselves just yet, because
no, but she's pretty much down in the pack.
She is down far enough in the pack at this point.
It's really weird today. It's going to be up and down. So can she get out of that? This is 2 laps. We'll see.
And we'll just see exactly what position she goes around the mark in before we start jumping to any crazy conclusions about what could possibly happen or not happen. But
so Bull Reg is off to the races. She's top speed on a check down to the reach mark, And she's going to turn that. It's going to be a jab around that, I believe, and off she'll go back out to Monument.
And Reg, third place boat, is that Termite? Are we able to confirm?
No, I don't believe that's Termite. It's a gray boat, and I think that's Slaughter.
All right,
Is
we'll
it?
wait to get the sail number. It looks like
No.
trying to get.
Is that Xena?
It may be Xena.
That's Xena.
Sail number. That would be Xena.
Yep. There's Witty K coming up and going to tack maybe right in front of Slaughter. And she does.
Putting her in 5th place right now.
Okay. And tacking right along with her is Fugitive. 040 behind is Confusion. So that group of boats coming to the mark there. Witty K would be the lead boat. Termite coming across behind her.
And we've got this big Triton parked right in front of the race course and blocking our camera angles. And so we're going to ask Captain Eddie to move the Triton out of the way.
We're going to have a little collision here because H2O, I believe, or Xena is not giving buoy room. Did she give it?
No, Xena's long gone, so you're talking
that
about
was H2O. H2O and
Witty
Witty
K?
K. Yes. And again, we're going to have a problem here with Witty K.
Witty K looks like she's stalled
She's stalled.
just a little bit, but trying to get a wind.
It Ain't Right went by her as well. And here comes Fugitive. Now, I think Stefan was trying to get on the top of those boats and get through that line, and he finally did. So Fugitive through. Termite behind her.
Reg out on the course. We have a couple of boats looking like they have some issues.
Is that at the mark, Dwight?
No, just away from the mark. We've got the Barbarian looking like she's in some trouble. We've got one of the yellow boats from Baratari with sail going down. And we also got another 2 boats looking that they're slightly tangled just a bit.
Okay, that's Ansali and Hot Mix, the green and orange boats, just behind 72 that's crossing them. Barbarian seems to be cleared white, and the boat that's down seems to be Tossed.
They're using a paddle right now. I don't know what may be the problem. I've never seen sculling.
Can't see the problem
on a sailboat.
I cannot see the problem, but they are paddling furiously.
Yeah. Maybe trying to get the bow turned just a bit to get the sail back up. And it looks like that's exactly what they were trying to do. So a little sculling action going on there to get that boat repositioned, pick up some wind. And it looks like it's
Golden Girl?
It is Golden Girl.
That's Rick Taylor.
And there she goes on your screen. They're getting the sail back up. And there's D. Smith.
That's
And
04, it's Golden Girl.
he is going to be...
And that's kind of sad because she was in 4th place yesterday.
She was. So right now, that's going to knock her back to the back of the fleet. So D no longer has a commanding lead of any kind. He's going to have a commanding last place.
One of the stories out here, folks, is Huey Lloyd. And he's the builder of the yellow boats. You see one of them, Hog Tusk, just powering past us right now. Beautiful coloring and paintings on the sides of that boat.
On your screens, though, Reg, we can see there's a shot of stern of Barely Legal as she's trying to run down Xena. And anybody wanting to see what a drone looks like covering a regatta, there's a good picture of the drone just in your screen hovering over those 2 boats. And then there's a nice picture of almost the entire fleet now coming down the middle of the harbor. And you can see they're now making a turn. And Reg, we have some issues at the mark. If you want to get your binoculars out there,
Can we see
it
the
looks
mark?
like we have Sansali in another collision. Number 41, sail going down.
Unfortunately, we can't see the windward mark here. Yeah, we've got Hot Mix there and Barbarian.
Sansali was a part of it.
Looks like she's going to get away. Jacob Ladder is in that. And 45, I believe, might be Keel. Keep your eyes on him. So all of those boats are in problems there. It's a very narrow turn there, and so the boats that are coming in, Sweet Allen Gal, Barbarian, Billy Legal, Legal Weapon, they're all piling right on.
Termites in that mix also.
No,
Trying to fight away
Termite's gone.
right on the back.
Yeah, Termite's gone. That's Keel. Keep your eye on him. And then you got Queen coming up, the last boat piling in there on the windward mark. So that's what's going on there, Dwight. Unless, of course, here on the Termite should be around, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. I can see all the sails, the top of the mats, and there seem to be pretty clear flow around there. Balraj has just sailed away, Dwight.
Oh, she's definitely opening up a considerable amount of distance, but as you can see, Whitty K seems to have now sailed away into 4th place. She was in 7th place just a few minutes ago, so she's definitely taking advantage of something.
Captain Lundy coming right across in front of us here in Chaser, followed by the colorful San Sally, the beast from the east.
And it looks like there's still just one boat, Reg, trying to make their way around the mark.
Well, Hot Mix is down.
Hot Mix with the sail down, but just to the left of the yellow boats.
Golden Girl.
And is that
and
Altus behind her?
That's Warrior.
Warrior.
And Golden Girl is the last yellow boat. And now we see the orange boat, which is Hot Mix. No, I'm sorry, that's King of Knights. Yeah, King of Knights with the sail down. They don't seem too eager to be going anywhere, do I?
No, and it looks like at that mark, Reg, the wind seems to be just dead.
Yeah.
So boats are coming to the mark and then just basically stalling.
Making that turn and stalling out. Here comes Uncle John. So folks, we have around the windward mark, around the reach mark, and they stretched out, as you can see, across the harbor. What a line of boats. 31 C-class sloops. These are the 17-foot boats. Balraj leads the pack to the lower mark. And it's going to be interesting coming back, Dwight, because Whitty K is moving up, and I expect you to get both the second and third boats.
Yeah, and you know,
and so this will be
once
she
has just one boat in front of her, Stefan has been very, very consistent in running down that one boat. But we'll see. Balraj is a different kind of beast.
Yes.
And
Captain Fuzzy is a different kind of
cat.
So I don't think that's. But here's the interesting thing: the weather keeps telling us that this wind is going to lay down.
Right.
And we
But
keep
then
feel it every now
gusts.
and then.
Yeah,
It's
there's some
gusting.
gusts coming, yeah.
It's gusting. Got about maybe 12 knots just come through just now.
And Reg, who is the boat that is at the extreme back of the fleet at this point, sailing?
The dark colored hull.
Not the one with the sail down, but the one that's actually sailing.
That's Uncle John.
Good job.
That's Uncle John, and she's usually kind of in that position. So.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what are you trying to imply, but.
I'm not implying. I'm just saying that Uncle John is usually there. You know,
right,
he used to have what we call the buoy boats.
All right, Uncle John's the buoy boat.
So,
on your screens now, going around the second mark, Queen, followed by Keep Your Eyes on Him, K-O-Y, I think Reg is the
Keel.
Keel.
Keep your eye on him.
And we're going to get some trouble. And we got a three-boat collision, and I think one of them is going to sink. If they
Somebody
don't
get
get out of
hooked.
that. We had KO along with we have some trouble.
That's
There's
Tommy
Sweet Island
gone.
Gal trying their best to get out of that collision, but we still have number 41 hooked, and there goes your boat. She's tipping over, and they're doing their best to try to keep her from going under.
I think they're going to make it.
I'm trying to
Just gotta get a
see
little speed on it.
which boat was number 41.
That's a boat we know, and that boat did pretty well.
Jacob's Ladder.
Okay, that would be Captain Higgins. That would be Captain Dwayne Higgins.
It looked like they got out of the tangle, but she certainly pointed the wrong way right now. And so some autocorrection place to get us pointed back out onto the race course. So, Reg, again, for the most part, we've seen pretty clean racing with 31 boats. Obviously, coming to a mark at low speed, I think it's actually more dangerous than coming to a mark at high
Well, it
speed.
is because you
Can't get out of the way.
You can't hold your line.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the rule is that through that mark, once you're in the zone, which
Right.
is about 3 boat lengths to the mark, you're supposed to hold that line,
Right.
whatever it is, that
Right.
circle around the boat.
Around the
zone.
mark, right.
You're on a circle. You stay on that. Unfortunately, in these kinds of winds, sometimes you can't do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem we're having at the mark. And then you have 3, 4 boats rounding at the same
time. Right. Aerial view of the fleet, but in the distance, Reg, you can see that Bullredge has gone back around.
Bullredge is so
Yeah.
far gone. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is really kind of sometimes what you expect Bullredge to do. Kind of disappointing that she hasn't done it to this point. But if she gets separation, Buzzy knows how to hold on to a lead. And we've been talking consistently about how Willie K knows how to chase down a lead boat. Bullredge is a different kind of boat. Buzzy certainly a different kind of captain. And I doubt he's going to make the kind of mistakes that we saw from some of the
I'm
other
trying to
lead
find
boats.
Whitty K. She's pretty far down range.
I think she's still holding on to her 4th position at this point.
Yeah, because coming around right now is Xena, I think.
I think we had Xena and also H2O. And there's a good shot of Willie K right now in our screens on TV. And you can see that those guys have not yet reached the mark. And there's some movement around on the boat. They look like they're trying to adjust some of the riggings.
She's blinded by somebody there, and I expect her to come around.
Number 55 is about to go around, Reg.
Okay, that's barely legal.
So barely legal, still holding on that position, and Willie K just swinging to the outside. And so they're both going around at the same time.
So that means that Whitty K's made up one spot, and I expect Stefan, as soon as he can clear the fleet, to go back on starboard. Let's see if he does. Because you know he's going to try to catch both.
Reg, take a look at what you see out there.
Yes, I do.
Buzzy has got at least a 3-minute lead on Willie K. If he is ever able to make that up in front of me today, I'll have to go down there and bow down to Stefan. I will bow down.
Well, here's the thing that happens on a day like today. Wind shifts, remember that.
Yeah.
Okay? And it means just picking the right side of the course and knowing which way the wind is going. Again, we keep saying this wind is backing west. So let's see what happens. That should favor all of the boats that are coming on starboard.
Yeah.
Whitty K, is that Whitty K around now, Dwight?
Willie K's around. But as you can see, barely legal, also putting some distance between himself.
And he does exactly what we said, Dwight. He's gone back on starboard and going right through the pack. So now
Buzzy's already
Buzzy's
covered.
covered him.
Buzzy's already covered.
And don't believe they're not watching each other.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Buzzy's covered. Whitty K's come out to pack. Obviously, she's behind Barely Legal.
Yeah.
So there's no sense chasing those two guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's coming across to try to get on the windward of Buzzy coming in here. Can she do it?
But she's gonna. I think she may have a more difficult path because she obviously has to give way to the boats that are coming towards the mark.
Yes, she does.
And so she may have to sail away.
Well,
to
actually,
stay
she
clear.
doesn't because she's on starboard tack, actually. The other boats are on port, so she doesn't have to give way. They have to give way to her.
Coming through.
So
All right.
she can come right through
Corrected
that
on
fleet. So that's interesting. That's an interesting point.
One boat, Reg, is going to have a DNF. We can see coming into shore now is King of Knights.
Yeah.
She suffered a little collision earlier, and so she's out of the race. Not really going to affect the overall because she was never in the run-in.
The wind that Captain Buzzy is striking is bringing him directly
To
the mark.
Absolutely.
And I think they're going to come around this mark and finish in front of Regatta Point. And if that's the case, then they both have to come here.
But I think they
Whitty
may...
K is striking incredible.
Now,
wind coming
are
up.
they going to be finishing at this point, or are they going to
No,
go back
I think
around?
they're going to come back over to the traditional finish.
But are they going back around to Stocken Island again?
Remember, it's 2 laps. Now that could have changed.
Well, this would make it at this mark here. This is 1 lap, I think. Once you've gotten back to Stocken Island, that one circle.
that's 1 lap.
So now you
So this is the second.
right. I'm gonna assume that they're gonna go back to Stocken Island one more time. I may be wrong.
The
Yeah.
race could be on the water. We can actually, we can ask Stafford what they're doing, and we have a way of doing that today. We're connected, so maybe we just want to call out there and see if there's been any changes. This is something I don't like to see on the course. You see that person with the orange shirt going through? It's right in the middle of the course here. The little boat with the orange. It looks like a marker that's moving. And it isn't.
Oh, it's not a
someone
marker?
in a shirt.
Oh,
That's
you're
someone
right.
in a shirt.
You're absolutely right. It looks like someone in the shirt. All right, drone view. Back to camera angle, and there's a good picture there of H2O. Is that
Okay.
H2O coming at us right in your screens?
And Whitty K has tacked over
Yeah.
onto port now. She's
Yeah, I think
trying to close the gap a
she
little bit
realized
more.
that on that track she was on, she was not gaining on Bull Ridge.
Well, I don't think there's any gain on Bull Ridge right now. He's sailing for position, but he's covered the rest of the fleet pretty much. And it's going to surprise you how close he's going to come, Dwight.
And so, Reg, we're going to look at some scenarios again from the points perspective. Like we said earlier, to start this race, Whitty K leading with only 2 points. Second boat was It Ain't Right with 9 points, so we need to see exactly where she is so that you can kind of then start to calculate going down.
Well, It Ain't Right was down in the pack, so Whitty K's in front of her, so that's
And Bull Ridge.
that's pretty much done.
Well,
done.
for first place, yeah, but now we're talking like second,
Yeah.
second and third. So Bull Ridge in third place with, well, actually, we had Bull Rally starting off in third place with only 12 points.
Yes, but the rally had some penalties, and that's these are unofficial numbers we're giving you, folks. We're waiting for the official numbers to come out. So we're just calculating
Yeah.
what
So-
we know from yesterday.
All things being equal, then I think Bull Ridge in the position that she's currently in is in a safe second overall.
Safe second overall.
Overall.
you think?
Barring any other
Yeah.
unforeseen.
No one can get to her.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I'm really keeping an eye on Stefan, because it's interesting how quickly he comes up through the fleet.
Yeah.
And he's on port, but he's going to tack over to starboard pretty soon. And I think he'll be pretty much on a line to the mark.
Yeah, in a safe third position still at this point.
Safe third position. Very safe third position. Zena is definitely eyeing him, but he's closing in on her for sure. If they have to go one more lap, I think he will get Zena, but I don't think he will get to 17. That boat is sailing today. We know that she
Has the potential?
has the potential.
The abilities.
We saw it. We
Yeah.
saw it. We saw the speed at BOB, and now today she's showing that kind of speed. Also on the last day at BOB, we saw this.
Yes.
The winds are dropping, coming up, going down. They're supposed to
Particularly
completely go.
at this mark, and there we see Bull Ridge now on your screens, and they're going to lay back and then just make a little short sham tack, Reg, I think
Now,
you call
if you
it,
look
to the
way
mark.
just out, straight out, you might see Whitty K, and I'm surprised that he is not going to make that tack and come to the mark.
I don't think she's far enough over, Reg.
He wants to go a little bit more, huh? Yep, still going over and starboard.
Does not make sense to have two tacks right now, but
Well,
she's
here he
coming
comes.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Well,
Here he comes.
look who's covering.
Puts his nose on, and Zena's got him. Folks, we like to watch these things because in all the 31 boats, you're only watching certain boats.
Yes.
And you can see who's watching whom by.
Well, Reg, I
you
can
know.
tell you right now, it's going to be interesting between
Bull Ridge
Zena
and Zena?
and Bull Ridge, because
Bull
Zena
Ridge.
is coming full speed.
And she has starboard.
I think
She has starboard
I'm,
on.
I'm not going to make the mistake and say who's leading at this point. It looks like Bull Ridge is still on top of her.
Well, Bull Ridge has just taken a knock, but Buzzy is really putting the power to it. and he has to get to that ley line. Zena is on the ley line. Buzzy almost has to come all the way to where Zena is
At this point,
to make that mark.
Yeah.
So how fast is Zena closing?
Zena's closing very
Very
fast.
fast.
Very fast.
And if Buzzy
But there
tacks
goes Buzzy
underneath
now.
and
He's
cannot
tack-
make it,
he's
then he's
tacking
going to
it.
have a problem.
He just did just
He
that.
just tacked. Let's
But-
see where he puts his nose.
Can he make it from that angle?
Well, they're both now on starboard, so both boats are on the same line. And I'm looking at the angles here, and it's going to be close.
Buzzy's going to have to juke his way
It's
over.
going to be close.
He's going to
getting
have
a
to
lift.
juke his way.
He's getting a lift. Zena is coming with power. Folks, keep an eye on this because Zena has to give him buoy room. They're both on the same tack, but I think Zena's going to get there before him because Buzzy cannot sail with power. And he may even drift. If he jukes too hard, he'll drift below that mark and have to tack again.
And there you go.
And
I think he has
not
to
gonna
tack.
make it.
He has to tack
Got
again.
a little puff. Got a little puff.
But Zena's going to
and
beat him
he's
to the
gonna
mark.
go in.
And there
Got a
goes
little
Zena.
puff, and Zena's around, and so we call it again, folks. Zena comes across. She had this. They were both on the same tack. Buzzy couldn't get power because he tacked just a little too soon.
Yeah.
And so Zena's around in first place, and she caught Buzzy. And right in third place, also closing on both of them, is Witty K, who may not make the mark, but she's certainly going to give it a run. Great racing here. What is interesting, Dwight, is that Zena caught Buzzy from the huge lead that he had.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's amazing.
And from a points perspective, Zena with 9 points is in a tie with It Ain't Right for second place.
Second place.
And so she's now pretty much going to cement
Second place.
second place. And thank you. We just confirmed, Reg, that the boats are going to be doing another circuit.
Okay. Thank you very
So-
much.
So there's there's an opportunity for Stefan still to
Oh, and he's
catch
not
up?
going to give up.
yeah.
And look how close he is to Zena. Look how close Balreg is to Zena. Stefan is joking, and he's made that mark.
Yeah.
From where he was, he's made that mark. And that's really all he wants to do is make that mark. And look how wide he's taking it, Dwight. He's making sure there's no contact.
Yeah. So there he goes
So
around
now he's around.
in fourth place. And 55 is that H2O?
H2O is
Or is
very
that
close.
barely legal?
At 55 is barely legal.
VK in third place, yes.
Yeah. So Witty K is now in third place, just behind Balreg, and we're still amazed that both Zena and Witty K were able to close that huge gap that 17 had on the downward leg,
Yeah.
and also on the reach leg when they came around. It was really astounding that they got to this marker with him. So the light green boat just crossing your screen now would probably be Witty K. Is she up on the screen, Dwight? Yeah. And she's a little bit behind, but don't forget, we have to go to the lower mark, and then we have to tack back up here, and that's what Stefan loves to do. The wind is still holding, Dwight.
Yeah. There is an aerial view of the Witty K, followed by Barely Legal as they make their way now to the turn mark. And there's Balreg. And she's safely around. Race is over.
Oh.
Well, folks,
Okay, we got some wrong information there, folks.
that's the end of
That
the
is
race.
the end of the race. They say stuck to 2 laps. We were told that there might be a third lap, but there wasn't. They stuck to the 2 laps, so that's it.
Dina in
So,
first place. Balreg
Zena?
in second.
First, Balreg second,
Witty K in
Witty
third.
K in third. And so that pretty much doesn't change a whole lot,
No. But what
except that Balreg wins today. So we'll
Well,
come back
no,
with the
Zeno. Zeno wins
Zena
today.
wins today, and so we'll come back and give you the official on that a little later on. A lot of the fleet's still coming around. It's a check finish, so it's kind of a once you're in position, that's it. And they'll just follow around now. There's the gun.
Well, I think they're given, I guess, the top 3 boats. Well, I think that gun was for the overall.
Maybe,
Willie
yes.
K.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so here comes Slaughter. We've been looking for her, heading to the mark right now. Right behind Slaughter, Fugitive. This is as they're going to finish, folks. It ain't right. Didn't sell too right today. So she's dropped way back in the pack. Right behind her, H2O. Behind her is Confusion. Dwight, Confusion's had a good regatta. They've made some good strides with that vessel. I don't know what they've done, but she's really moved up in.
This, I think, is going to be her second top. Let's see, 4, 5, 6,
top
7,
10.
8. Yeah, I think
Is it
she's.
10?
I think this will be her second 9th place finish.
Interesting.
Which says something.
Well, I mean, she's in good company with H2O, and
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
holding her own with her, which is kind of good. And then right behind that is, this is H2O. She's actually beating H2O. Interesting. Behind H2O, we have Sacrifice, the hog. Irene Goodnight.
And so, Reg, based on my unofficial, and let me repeat, unofficial calculation, Whitty K is going to finish with a total of 5 points, which puts her well ahead of the second place boat, which is going to be Zena, who unofficially will finish with 10 points. So you can say that Whitty K will win overall C class. 10 points will get Zena second place, and 15 points will be awarded to Valred, given a third place just ahead of It Ain't Right, who unofficially, by my calculation, is going to have 16 points.
Okay, we're gonna say that's unofficial.
Unofficial, folks.
We'll give you that. We'll
By
get
the
the
time we
skinny
come
on
back
that.
to the midday
have
broadcast,
that.
we should have that bit of information for you.
Yeah. But I think this is going to wrap it up. Here comes Termite, way in the back of the fleet here, which is kind of disappointing, but. And
Well, it's all a
125.
learning experience for the
Yes,
young guys.
I'm looking for my young guys to do move up the fleet. They haven't yet, but they will. I'm looking for 125 as well, which we have 2 boats, folks, which are training boats. Termite, which is the young guys, and then we have By Gully, which is now a campaign boat, and we're just trying to get her right. So that's where we are. And we're about to wrap up C-Class racing in the 2019 National Family Island Regatta, the 66th National Family Island Regatta. Dwight, I think the C-Class has been exciting.
Yeah.
It has been exactly, what we said. Whitty K, still the dominant boat. Stefan's still the dominant captain.
Yes.
And I want to really stress that point to a lot of people in the conversations we've had time and time again as to the speed of Whitty K over the other boats, as opposed to the smarts or the invincibility of Stefan, the captain.
Well, it takes. I think it's a combination of both, because bear in mind, on both tacks down the middle of the harbor, Whitty K took a different direction.
Yes.
All right, and so she gained every time she did it.
Every time.
So is that just on speed alone, or was that because of the tactical move by the skipper?
And I contend that it's the tactical moves of the skipper.
Yeah.
It's the man he's honed his skills
to
the point where he sees things and does things that you.
There's still some skeptics in the sailing community. I had I'm not going to call the name of a sailor sitting up at the broadcast earlier today, and he said, I think there's still something wrong with that boat. There's something about that boat, and until we get a chance to cut that boat open, there's something wrong with that boat. And so, guys go to bed with nightmares about the Whitty K, right? But at the end of the day, You have to give credit to the captain,
And the crew.
and of course the owners of the boat, making sure that she's always well rigged. She's got top-notch equipment, and
See, now
that's a
you're
part of it.
really getting into the nitty-gritty of it
Well, absolutely.
because beyond the boat,
Yeah.
it's now tuning. Like an instrument has to be tuned.
Yes.
Boats have to be tuned.
Yes.
The mast has to be tuned. The sail has to be trimmed, and these are the things that I think Whittaker has got down. They're not fixing every minute.
Right.
They found this formula and they're going with it.
Yeah.
Heard an interesting thing about Slaughter after the BOB. Just to stress this point that we're talking about, folks. Slaughter was a very, very fast boat at BOB, and then we realized she wasn't doing it. And I discovered that they completely took the mast out of her, got a different mast for her, did some different things to her, and that stopped the boat sailing. Because sometimes when you get these boats right, you really don't know
Well,
what that thing is.
the thing
you know?
is that when some of these boats get to a certain level in the competition, the owners, captains, skippers, crew always think that there's some more
to
that
get.
they can squeeze
Yeah.
out of it. Not
Yeah.
sometimes realizing that where you are now is probably the
You're
optimum.
You're at
That's
half
it.
speed.
You're
at
all
half
out.
speed. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
keep it where it's at, and don't change anything
until
unless you start to get beat again.
until you have to.
All right.
And that's good advice, guys. In case you're listening, because we saw what happened to Slaughter. She's back in the pack now. But I understand from the owner that he's going to put the mast back in. They're going to go back and try to find that spot again, and you're going to see that probably she's going to regenerate.
That's called reinventing the
Reinventing
wheel.
the
That's what
wheel.
that's called.
That's called
Reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
Once that wheel is set, leave it be, and let the boat sail. But nonetheless, Reg, Class C
Class C is finished.
is finished.
Okay, so let's go to what's going to happen next.
So
B is coming up.
we have Class B coming up, and all bets are on the table. It's a wide open competition to win. Right now, we have a dead heat tie between the Lonesome Dove and the Sousa Chase. They're both tied currently with 3 points each, both of them having a first and a second. Lady Sonia is, I think, at 5 points because she had a third and a fifth. Actually, I think she may be at 8 points. Reg, Old Boy, I think, is currently in third place.
Third place, yeah.
With 2 third-place finishes, or a third and a fourth-place finish, I think.
And let's look at this, Dwight. Yesterday, Lonesome Dove had that race won.
You really want to start talking about that?
Yes.
All right, so let's talk.
Because we have to look for that today. Because she got out there, she was, as far as we're concerned, gone.
So let's take the conversation down to the street level, right? Because this is what is being said at the street level. That Stephen Knowles and the Willie K took the nerve of Jeff Gale.
Ooh, I don't want to go that far.
Well, I'm just going to tell you what I'm hearing on the street.
Abaco,
man.
I'm not
You see-
going with that one.
You see, Reg, you walk around at the management level.
Yeah, you
I
walk around
walk
at the
around
ground
at the
level.
ground level. And obviously, we're all aware that Stefan and the Willie K inched out Jeff Gale
Oh,
and
yeah.
it ain't right in the C class earlier yesterday
Right.
morning. And almost the same thing happened
On the same course.
on the same course in the B class. And so the little chit chat on the street is Stefan
Stefan took his nerve.
took his nerve.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit more.
Not my words now. Let
Yeah.
me just
No,
clarify that.
I understand.
I'm going to repeat what I heard.
But let's look at the facts.
Yeah.
Lonesome Dove was in a position on the ley line to go to the mark.
Yeah.
The question is, I think she tried to ensure a win because, they were taking a lot of knocks coming back on that port deck
Yeah.
to the mark. And so in order to secure that, knowing that Willie K was behind her,
Right.
she overstood
Yeah.
her ley line
Sailed more than she had to.
a lot.
Yeah, sailed more than she had
And so Stefan comes along. He gets to the way line and says, I could go just a little bit more and make that mark. And he did inside her,
Yeah.
tacks under her, and beats her to the mark.
to. Yeah. So what does it say? Stefan sees an opportunity.
He sees an
takes full
opportunity.
advantage of it.
He sees an opportunity, but his judgment of the distances
Yeah.
and the speed of his boat that he could get there is amazing.
Somebody
Jeff also knows that.
Yeah, somebody said this to me yesterday, Reg, talking. That, and you have to watch this to see whether it's accurate or not.
Right.
Is that Stefan never loses sight of the mark.
No,
That his boat
never does.
He's always positioned to see the mark, and so obviously that may be a factor in helping him make judgment calls
Well,
as
what
to
did he
distance.
say? I mean, he says, "I sail to the mark."
Yeah.
That's his whole purpose.
Yeah.
So, folks, the reason we're having this conversation is because this matchup is going to come again today.
Yeah.
The winds are not down like we thought they were going to be. The winds are up, and hopefully they're going to be up just like this throughout the day. And so we're going to see maybe these two boats come together again, and we're going to have this conversation, hopefully. Now, there is a sleeper in here, though. There's Lady Sonia that has a habit of performing today. She likes this.
Yeah, but she may be. I think yesterday, her position yesterday kind of knocked her out of the conversation for winning overall.
Oh, yes.
Because her fifth place yesterday, I think there's too much
Dropped her
separation between her and the first and second point
Third
boats. In order for her to, she may win the race
Yeah.
today, but as far as winning overall, I think that's probably a non-starter for conversation.
Well, I'm just talking about winning today.
Yeah. Well, Buzzy
Win-
always
win
has
today.
an opportunity to win. I mean,
That-
they just
that-
had a
so-
great opportunity just a few
Just
minutes ago,
just now.
and allowed.
Still want to go back and analyze that one later on because I don't understand that gap disappearing so quickly. So that's what's happening in B.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after the B, we're going to get down to some serious conversations.
Reg, I want to leave commencing the A-class conversation until we're done with B, because I have a lot to say.
Folks, I'd just like to
I
get
had
you right
a
on this
lot
one
to
because
say.
I know this is his favorite conversation.
I could tell you there was a lot of chit-chat on the Sailors Chat this morning,
Oh,
and,
yes.
and
Yes.
both you and I were prominently mentioned. And so we're going to have to clarify some things as we get, but let's save that for then.
for this afternoon.
Because I need a lot of time, and
Okay.
I don't want to take up too much time at this particular broadcast.
Okay. We just want to go quickly to this morning, the E-Class wrapped up today as well. And just want to say that unofficially, Man of War, Leslie Buzzy Roll is going to take that series. Right behind him is his son, Chris Roll, and Lady Kayla. And Bad Mendes, I believe, is...
I think
I'm sorry.
you may have it in
going to
reverse.
total. Yeah, sorry about that.
Don't forget now,
Chris Roll.
Buzzy had a collision.
Yeah, Buzzy had the collision, and he actually was deducted quite a bit of points.
5 points.
So Chris Roll, actually, Christino is going to win that, and Lady Kayla and Buzzy is going to
come
be
second. Yeah.
And then Bad Mendes, Kevin Mops is going to be third.
So
And
the son beats the
the son
father.
beats the father, and that's as it should be, you know.
Yeah.
The student takes the teacher, and then of course, very quickly, just going to mention this from yesterday: Running Tide coming in first, and Legend is second.
Tideway
in third, and overall it's still Legend, and it's still Running Tide in second, and it's still Tideway in third. So we go to the afternoon
Well, we
section.
have to just also point out the reason why, because based on
Well,
the
you said
finished
you didn't want to
positions-
get in that.
Well, based on the finished positions of Legend and Running Tide, they should be tied
They should
for
be
points.
tied, yeah.
But we understand Running Tide was penalized 2 points
Touching the
for
mark.
touching the mark, and so as it is now, Legend with 3 points, Running Tide with 5 points, Tideway with 6 points unofficially.
And there we are, unofficially, and unofficially we're going to say we're going to be back
Yeah.
for the B class in just a little while.
Yep.
Stay tuned to us. If you're in Exuma, anywhere in Exuma, make your way to downtown Georgetown because the Rumble is on, and the big noise
Gonna get heated later.
is coming up,
Gonna
folks.
get heated.
Thank you so much for joining us around the world, here in Exuma and across the Bahamas. I'm Red Smith with Dwight Hart.
Yep.
And we'll be back in just a moment.